Hey Virgo, what's up? This is for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Let's have a look at what you can expect to happen in your love life. 27th to the 2nd of February 2025. It is a general love reading. May or may not resonate. If it doesn't, check out your other placements. This is for Virgo. Roles can be reversed anytime, so feel free to switch those energies, vice versa. This is for Virgo. Okay, Virgo, let's see. Virgos, it feels like there's a situation that is very confusing. Okay. You are still either holding on to some kind of ego, or you are holding back from someone and trying to avoid making a move. You are using avoidance, confusion, and ego to holding yourself back from working on a situation. You know it is time for you to move forward, Virgo. A lot of you know it's time for you to move forward. Now keep in mind, this could be your person also. If this is your person, Virgo, this is someone out here who daydreams about you, fantasizes about you, thinks about you, wants to open themselves up to the possibilities of being with you. But they're not putting in the work. They're putting in the work in minute details. They could be putting in the work in holding on to a lot of past grudges. This person could still be working on their ego. There could be a very big ego out here, okay, is what I'm getting. This is someone who knows it's time to move forward. But the problem here is that even if this person owes you an apology, right, they don't want to come towards you with an apology. Because an apology would mean being vulnerable. Being vulnerable means you have the upper hand. And that's something that they can't tolerate. They can't tolerate that. They do want long-term stability. For a lot of you, maybe this person wants to revive the connection with you, Virgo, or for the others of you, this person's wanting long-term stability, but there is a lack of planning and strategy. So what they're doing is they're right now coming off as very rigid. They're coming off as putting their foot down and they're just not wanting to budge. I see someone who's like not flexible. I see someone out here who's like, my way is the highway. There's no other way around it. So they're still not opening themselves up to forgiveness. Whether they have to forgive someone from the past or whether they have to come towards you with some kind of forgiveness, they're not doing it. They're sticking to false stability, which could be false pride and ego. This person could also be holding on to something which is not real stability. Could be another person that they're holding on to, okay, which is not giving them the fulfillment, which is not giving them that real end all be all, and they need to be with you. But like I said, it's the ego. So they're not choosing to put in any work right now. They want to be with you, but they're not choosing to put any work. They know it's time to move forward from something or someone, but still not really pushing it to make it happen. Now in the middle of the week, Virgo, this person realizes that it's time to move on from a situation in their life that is dead, done, and over with. It's almost like an ending that they saw coming. There is definitely a situation, Virgo, in their life that they see has ended or is over or has no other identity. There's nothing more to this. But they're not being able to take the lead. They're not being able to finish something. Something has run its course. And this person does understand that in order for in order for something new to begin, something old needs to die. And they won't let that old die. Only because they have fear of new beginnings with you, or only because it's their pride and ego. Some of you, this person could be very fearful, okay? They could be very fearful, and they could be very fearful, and they could be someone who probably has fear of doing things differently. They don't want to operate differently. They don't want to be separate from the crowd. This person likes to go with the crowd. That's a follower. They're constantly in two minds about what they should do about this connection with you. Should they stay in a bad connection? Should they be with you? There's constant juggling going on. But that juggling is going on because this person's trying to manipulate the truth. They're not coming off as very logical. Again, they don't have a plan. They don't have a strategy. If they don't have a plan and strategy, they're in the middle of nowhere. So right now you're dealing with someone who's going through a lot of fear. This person's very, very fearful. This person's going through like this mental overload. It's like, I almost know what I need to do, but then I don't know what I need to do. I know what I need to do, but then I don't know what I need to do. So there's this constant juggling back and forth, back and forth. One day they have an idea of coming towards you, and the next day another idea comes in of not coming towards you. Again, so it's like, like that, coming in and out, in and out, in and out. Like I said, a situation that this person has been holding on to all this while very tightly, they know it's fading away. They know it's over. They know it's the last nail on the coffin. They know there's nothing more to it. But in order for them to finish a situation in their life that they know is over and to come towards you correctly, it's going to require a lot of power. It's going to require a lot of courage. It's going to require them to be really, really, really brave. And that's where the problem is, because they lack the bravery. They lack the power and the courage to stand up for what they think is right. They're still repeating the same mistakes. There's so much of, oh, but then what about that? Oh, but then if I go to VIRGO, then what about that? Then who will be taking care of that? And then what about that? So they're so focused on minute details, right? They're so focused on small, small details, which is crushing their self-esteem, which is crushing their self-confidence, okay? So they have to be brave enough to be like, you know what, I want to be with VIRGO. I don't care what the world thinks. This person cares too much about the world. They care too much about what the world will think also. Now, by the end of the week, what I'm getting out here is, this person still stays in a bad situation. They are seeing things from a different perspective, but they still choose to stay in a toxic situation. They still choose to stay in an unhappy family dynamic. They still choose to stay in a situation that does not make them happy. Maybe it's this person out here who feels obliged to stay in a family dynamic, or they feel obliged to stay in a happily ever after. Like they feel, oh, how can I? How can I move on from this? How can I move on from a family dynamic? They won't see it's not making them happy, but they'll definitely see that if they make a move to walk out of a family dynamic, it's going to make the others unhappy. So they're giving more priority to family, more priority to everything and anything else but their own happiness. So wherever this person is, VIRGO, there's a lack of emotional fulfillment. It looks like a happily ever after, but deep down there is no happiness. Okay, they could be sticking around with people who are toxic for them. So they choose to repeat the same negative patterns. They choose to stay in the same patterns. There is this sense of dependency out here, okay? And I feel that more than a dependency also, there's this sense of like, oh, who's going to start from scratch? Who's going to build from scratch? So they're holding on to the fear of either being alone or holding on to the fear of starting again. Holding on to the fear of starting all over again. So what they're doing is they're seeking instant happiness, instant gratification in shallow ways. Shallow ways as in ways where it just does not fulfill them. They are very hopeful that things will work out between you and them someday, but for right now they're closed off emotionally. They have trust issues, they've developed trust issues, being in a bad situation. Now they're very insecure. Now they don't, this is someone who feels like, okay, this situation that I was in ended so badly, I have no guarantee that the new situation that I walk towards is going to end up well, so I'd rather just keep myself closed off. Yeah, this person chooses to kind of not come towards you. They choose to stay single, or they just choose to stay reliant or dependent on another situation or other people or money, materialism, or on another family dynamic. There's a lack of self confidence out here. And like I said, they choose to repeat the same pattern again and again. It's like they're seeing things for what it is, but they're not getting themselves unstuck. They still choose to repeat the same patterns out here. Okay, so the relationship can be salvaged, or the relationship can be built between you and them for sure, but it's going to require courage for this person to step out of indecision, to step out of just being on autopilot. Okay, so that's what I have for you.